Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first crash course session. My name is Alejandra Davila Barclay, and I am a veterinary trained research assistant at the Microbial Genomics Lab in Universidad Peruana Cayetano Heredia in Lima, Peru. Our work is centered on the study of antibiotic-resistant bacterial pathogens across multiple environments, including the human-chicken interface. Today, we will cover the general basics of chicken production to understand a little bit more about the motivation behind the research presented on the journal club sessions. Many of you will ask, but why chickens? Short answer, because they are everywhere. Let's start with something familiar. This map of the world shows most of the countries in which a KFC restaurant can be found, which is almost in every single continent. And here is a global distribution of chicken meat production. This makes them the most ubiquitous of all livestock species in the world. Poultry meat is practically the most consumed meat in the world, and the trends show it is expected to increase. As we can see here, the global production trend has only gone up. In order to meet the high demands of birds, not only did we have to breed more, but to breed them efficiently. Genetic selection allowed for rapid growth and increased yield, and that is how we ended up with birds weighing around 4 kilograms. If you notice, some parts of their bodies were strategically selected to increase in mass, like the breast. But we've only focused on broiler or meat chickens for now. Let's talk about the other kind. We have the layer chickens that produce the eggs we eat, and an assortment of other birds bred for exhibitions and for keeping as pets due to their attractive physical traits. It is noteworthy some types of chickens are dual purpose, meaning they can be raised for meat and eggs. So what breeds do we commonly see in chicken production? There is a wide variety of chickens. They come in different colors and patterns. Some breeds are characterized for laying brown eggs and others for white eggs. However, in most intensive production systems, we talk about hybrid genotypes. Commercial hybrid genotypes have been selected to increase production performance. They've been standardized, if you will. The most common crosses for broiler and layer chickens comes from Cobb and Ross and Hillard and Hubbard. Okay, now that we have our ideal chickens for production, where do we raise them? These are intensive farmhouses in the US. These specifically are dark house systems. The image on the left is what it looks like inside. There they can control different variables like light hours, temperature, and humidity. The photo on the right is from an intensive farm in South America. They are very similar in terms of distribution, but as you can see, the materials of the housing are somewhat different. Because the housing is open, they rely on a curtain system to control temperature, humidity, and light. Keep in mind, this is very important due to the fact that birds have a body temperature of 42 degrees Celsius. Any variation in temperature may serve as a stressor, predisposing to many diseases. As for layers, some intensive systems use battery cages. They are used to separate the eggs from the hen species and to facilitate the egg collecting process. They also restrict certain behaviors like predation and pecking, but also free movement, predisposing to several physical conditions. That is why they have been banned in several countries. The photo on the right is another example. The birds are all together in the same housing, but they are free to roam inside, and they can exhibit more normal behavior like perching. They also have nesting boxes where they can lay the eggs and nest. However, this system requires farm workers to constantly check for new eggs for collection. Neither broilers nor layers are hatched on their respective farms. They all come from eggs fertilized in breeder farms. These farms have the highest levels of biosecurity because they are responsible for the future generations of food. There are special breeder farms for broiler and layer genotypes, respectively. Here, unlike the layer farm where it's all females, we have one male chicken per 10 females. After the females lay the fertilized eggs, these are also collected but actually sent to hatcheries. Hatcheries are essentially giant incubators where temperature and humidity are closely monitored. Once the chicks hatch, then they are checked for their sex. This is called chick sexing, and then sent to the farms. Chickens are not only kept in giant farms with high levels of biosecurity, they are also raised at a community level at a much smaller scale, mainly for subsistence. Depending on the country and area, they have different characteristics. They may have a coop, but also be allowed to range freely and feed on local foods. In contrast to intensive farming, alternative practices like free-range and organic farming have become popular and are encouraged by many governments as a means to increase welfare practices. Sometimes these terms are used interchangeably. Free range refers to birds being allowed access outdoors. Organic certification, on the other hand, refers to practices in compliance with more stringent standards on their origin and raising conditions. Now let's go over the production cycle of a broiler chicken. We've already covered the breeder farms. So then the fertile eggs are taken to hatcheries. Once chick sexing is performed, the old chicks are taken to the broiler farms. In chicken production, there is a concept called all-in, all-out system. So we will have a whole group of baby chicks go together to the farm. They will eat, sleep, and live together for the next 35 to 49 days. And once they are big enough to be taken to a certified slaughterhouse, then the meat will be processed and it will enter the food supply network until it reaches consumers like us. Here is a breakdown of the number of birds produced in the industry from each farm. There is a reason chicken is called a big, cheap food, since the turnover time is so quick. As for layers, they too come from certified hatcheries and taken to the farm until they reach sexual maturity and start laying eggs. Once their productive life cycle ends, they can be sold to other markets or sent to the slaughterhouse. In a similar manner as broilers, here is a breakdown of the number of birds that go behind egg production each time. Having already covered the different types of farming and the raising conditions behind each type of bird, it is important to mention the welfare issues relating to these husbandry systems, like high stocking densities, housing infrastructure issues, and lack of enrichment can lead to stress, many diseases, and proliferation of many pathogens like Salmonella and Campylobacter. Certain practices like big trimming, inadequate handling during transport, on-farm euthanasia, and slaughter methods have been widely criticized and banned in many countries. In order to meet the high demand for food, growth promoters are used to increase performance. The problem is that many of the substances used are antimicrobials. What they do is give antibiotics in low dosages in order to kill certain bacterial populations from their gut, so that others can proliferate and facilitate the breakdown of nutrients. This is a risk for the emergence of antimicrobial resistance, a major public health threat. Thank you. If you want to read more about the chicken industry, I recommend these books by journalist Marion McKenna. For information on raising practice guidelines, restrictions, and statistics, visit the following resources. Also, make sure you check our past journal club sessions by Dr. Nishant Kumar and Professor Marian Dawkins on responsible poultry management and chicken welfare on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.